Breaking Boundaries. My name is Saul Mintz, and I'm here with Matilda, a special guest that we have on the show today. We are representing the recovery community, so please make sure you like, share, and subscribe these videos. We are looking for anybody that has a powerful testimony. We'd like y'all for y'all to come on the show so we can share this with the world. If you have any ties with rehab or any type of sobriety situations, please let's get together. Let's pass this movement. We try to get this movement going. Today, our daily devotion. October 12th, a Christ-centered self-esteem. Do you not know that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have from God? You are not your own. 1 Corinthians 6:19. In the same way, husbands ought to love their wives as they love their own bodies. For a man who loves his wife actually shows love for himself. No one hates his own body, but feeds and cares for it, just as Christ cares for the church. Ephesians 5:28-29. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Genesis 1-27. I eagerly expect and hope that I will in no way be ashamed, but will have sufficient courage so that now, as always, Christ will be exalted in my body, whether by life or by death. Philippians 1-20. Have nothing to do with irrelevant, silly myths. Rather, restrain yourself for godliness. For while bodily training is some value, godliness is a value in every way, as it holds promises for the present life and also for the life to come. 1 Timothy 4:7-8. How you doing, Matilda? Welcome to the show today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Man, that's a blessing. It's a blessing, honor, and privilege. Matilda just had first 1 year sobriety.
Yes.
Give her a round of applause.
Okay.
It's a blessing, honor, and privilege to have you here. It's been a long time coming.
Yes, it has.
Well, I have a few questions to ask you today and about your testimony, about your life. Just, you should be comfortable. Share from your heart. Question number one is, where are you from, and what was your childhood like growing up?
So I'm originally from Keys, Oklahoma. I grew up without a mom. My mother, she breastfed me until the day she died. I was 5 years old, still breastfeeding. My mom, she drank on a daily basis, she'd be drinking a can of Bush, and I'd be under her shirt drinking, breast. My mom, she overdosed. They was doing, of course, a meth cook, and she died. And I remember that day just like it was a few days ago, And it was hard growing up without a mom, My dad, whenever he got custody of me back, he quit everything cold turkey. My dad's been sober for 25 years, and I do look up to him. He gave me the best childhood, possible. He worked sometimes 7 days a week, just to provide for me. I love sports, growing up, I was always in the summer league, went to nationals, won first place, and man, that was everything to me. Sports, softball was my all time thing. I loved basketball. I lost 2 scholarships due to drugs, and lost point guard due to drugs. Uh, I started doing pills whenever I was I'd say probably about 10 years old. 10 years old doing pills, and I did that for a long time. I started drinking at the age of 12, started shooting up at the age of 13, I can remember, like, just a few days, where I was drunk, and I remember those days. Most days I would black out, wouldn't even remember what happened the night before.
So somebody introduced you. Was it like a negative influence? Like who's around you that introduced you into doing drugs and alcohol?
Well, of course, my whole family, my whole family did drugs, and it was just the household that I grew up in, pretty much,
Yeah. So everybody was an addict.
Yes, everyone in my family was an addict. I went out on the weekends, just party, and the weekends turned into school days, I missed 2 weeks of school one day because I was drunk. I was all the way in Texas, and my dad called me. He was like, principal called me, how come you're not in school? I was like, I am, I gotta go to basketball practice. And I was all
How old were you?
I was 12 years old.
12 years old.
Yeah,
Wow.
all the way in Texas, drunk.
Wow. Well, that takes us to the second question I was asking you. When was your first encounters with drugs and alcohol? You basically talked about that. When was the first time you realized that you had a problem with drugs and alcohol, and what did you experience?
Um, I would say, I don't know, like I started doing a hardcore, like I started at the age of 13 shooting it, but then I really got into it whenever I was around like 15 years old, you know. I had my son at the age of 16, and it's like I stopped using drugs for 9 months, but you know what I'm saying, of course I was pregnant. And after that, I got into gang violence.
Okay.
And gang violence, that really took me down through there, you know. I did everything for that gang, you know what I'm saying? And now that I realize that, it was young and dumb, you know what I'm saying? I was young and stupid, you know what I'm saying? Doing all these horrible mistakes, you know. And it's not something I'm proud of today. It's really not, you know. And like I see a bunch of kids, you know, like talking about, oh, gang this, gang that. It's not worth it, you know. Like there's more to drugs, there's more to alcohol, there's more to gangs, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, looking back, it's just like, man, like I did so much stuff for that, you know what I'm saying, that environment. It's like all I held was anger, you know what I'm saying. I didn't know what the word resentment meant until, you know what I'm saying, of course, today. So,
So you basically saying that you ran to the streets, right? Your loyalty was with the gang.
yes.
Your loyalty, and then they would invite you. What you went to power parties and stuff like that. Did you experience any trouble with the law?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I was in and out of jail a lot, you know what I'm saying. On my way to prison whenever I was 19, got indicted by the time I'm 20. And stayed 2 years waiting to get sentenced, you know, and that sucked. It really did, you know. At the age of 18, whenever I first went to jail, it's like, dang, you know, DHS came to see me, and it's like I didn't stop there, you know. I stayed in jail for 2 weeks, and then whenever I got out, I hit the ground running again, you know. And it's like I don't know, having a kid, it changed my life for a little while, but it's like the drugs just kept taking over, you know. Um, I chose drugs over my own son, and saying that like that's one of the biggest resentments I have to myself still to this day, you know. Because today I don't know what my son looks like. I don't know his name, you know, and I don't even know the type of house he lives in. Is he safe? You think is he getting abused? I don't know. Um, so that's what I'm working towards today is to be a better mother.
Yeah. So that was kind of like a traumatic experience. Was there any other traumas that you dealt with when you was knee deep in your addiction?
Oh yeah. I got raped, you know, whenever I got out of prison, and I used alcohol, you say, to numb all the feelings, and it's like at the same time I used drugs, but you know, saying like getting raped, it was hard, you know, like that was one of the worst experiences I've had in my life. Like I wouldn't wish that on nobody, you know, like um I didn't wish bad on them guys that did it, you know, saying because I understand everything happens for a reason. Even though I don't know what that reason was, even though I don't know if they were going through anything, I couldn't do anything to change that, you know what I'm saying? Um, Still to this day, I pray for everyone that's ever raped me. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of the other traumatic events that happened was my brother that got killed. And I didn't wish bad on those guys, you know what I'm saying? Because everything happens for a reason. I always hear that everything happens for a reason. Whenever my brother died, the verse that came to me was Matthew 11:28. It says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and tired, and I will give you rest." I understand my brother was tired and saying like he was tired for a whole year and like God gave him rest. Even though it wasn't the right way to go out, he's still at rest. He's at peace now, you know?
Yes.
So you know, like I don't know, it's hard, but I'm still getting through it, you know. I'm still praying on a daily basis.
Praying on a daily basis.
Yeah.
You're a strong woman. You're a very strong woman. So, you know, when you came to rehab, you had to seek counseling, right, with the therapist?
Yes.
And how was that like?
Um well, at first it was hard, you know what I'm saying, because like I've had a counselor before and I told that woman like, hey, I don't know you, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna tell you anything about me, you know, like
Yeah.
I still had that young and dumb mentality, you know, but the therapist I have today, she's wonderful, you know what I'm saying? I'm able to talk to her about anything. And one of my therapists is my, you know, my fiance, you know, and he's everything. I can talk to him about anything, you know. And that's what's crazy to me because I never had that. You know what I'm saying? Because before when I thought I had that, no, like I would can how would I say I would vent to someone and next thing you know everyone would know about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I didn't really have that.
You didn't have the you didn't trust
Yes.
the situation. Yeah. It's a lot right there. Can you explain to the viewers in great detail how drugs and alcohol mesh up your life? And let's talk a little bit about your character defects also.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, they did mess up my life. You know, one of the things, the hardest thing was losing my son. You know, uh, like I said, whenever I was in county jail, you know, like they told me my rights were getting terminated. Like I was just in that everything, saying forget everything. Like I went 0 to 100 real quick, and it's like, man, like I just kept getting myself in deeper crap, you know, and I don't know, it messed my life up pretty bad, insane, but still yet, like that didn't stop me. My son get taken away from me, that didn't stop me, you know, like of course my loyalty was still with this gang, you know, like and today I understand why my loyalty was to that gang whenever they didn't ride for me whenever I was in prison, you know what I'm saying? Like it sucked, it really did. The only rider I had was my father. Still to this day, I have my father.
What happened to you when you were on the lowest of the low? Explain your rock bottom.
Um, I guess it would be like uh, not having my own house, not having my own car, you know, living without electricity, living without water, you know, having to struggle for food every day. Um,
Was you ever homeless?
I would say I was homeless because, of course, I didn't have my own house. You know, I was living with like my sister. I was living with another relative. You know what I'm saying? And like, it just really got to me. You know what I'm saying that struggle. It got to me. I've never lived without water. You know what I'm saying? I've never lived without electricity until like the last year and a half of my addiction, and it really sucked. You know, that did open my eyes. It did.
Did you hide it from family members, like other family members that didn't know that you were possibly on drugs or had addiction? Was you hiding the fact that you were high on drugs?
Absolutely. I would say my father's side, man, because my father's side, man, like they go to church, they go to everything. You know, saying they're good people.
Uh-huh.
Of course, I hid it from my dad. You know, saying for the longest time, like I wouldn't smoke a cigarette in front of him until I was literally like the age of 23, 24 years old. You know,
Oh.
I literally would walk to the road just to smoke a cigarette, so my dad didn't see me. And I hid I hid marijuana from him one time, you know. But whenever he came home, I had the munchies, you know, and like
So
his
what did he how did he react? He finally found out that you were on hard drugs.
I knew there was anger there,
Uh-huh.
and I also knew there was sadness. The sadness I feel like took over everything because he couldn't believe like I was his baby. His baby was in jail. His baby was going to prison for drug conspiracy, you know.
Wow. Yeah.
Um, that's all he ever said to me was, "I can't believe it, baby. Like, why do you keep hanging out with the people and saying you're just getting yourself in trouble and trouble and trouble?" And it's like I didn't listen to him, you know. Never listened to my dad, man. Like it sucked because he was the one that was always there for me through everything. I never listened to him.
Can you explain to the viewers how important it is to listen to your father and your mother? If you still have your father and your mother in your life, can you explain to the young viewers that perhaps they probably possibly be listening to this or watching you? Could you share a little bit of the importance of respecting your and honoring your mother and your father?
Yes, most definitely. You know, do listen to your parents. You know, because like most parents, they've been there, done that. You know, what I'm saying like they say, always listen to your elders, always respect your elders, no matter what. You know, um, I'm always courteous to my elders. You know, like your parents know best, man. Your parents do know best. Um, don't grow up too fast for one, you know. Live as a kid, man. Like I always said, man, I wish I was 18. I wish I was 21. And that's something I do regret, you know. Man, because like I said, I had a great childhood and saying sports was everything, you know. If you're in sports, stay in sports. If you're in school, stay in school, man. Like, you know, saying accomplish your dreams, you know. My dream was to become a doctor in the medical field.
Yeah.
And I got to do that, you know, saying for a little while, medical school. I did get dropped out due to my background, but I didn't let that stop me. You know, like it sucked that, to have my dream snatched out of my hands, but it was like, keep going, Matilda. You know, keep going. I got about 12 months left before I can reapply to be in medical field, so I'm okay with that.
At least you tried it.
Yes.
And then you can keep going.
Yes.
That's good. That's awesome. All right. So, how did you seek for help or treatment? The first time was your mouth, ear to mouth, or somebody told you, or did you? How did you seek for treatment?
To be honest, I want to say it was one of my friends. We call her Buffy, and you know, she was in addiction, and her and her husband, they got their kids taken away, and like seeing her get out of jail, we was in jail together. Seeing her get out of jail and totally do a 360 and saying it was crazy to me. You know, like she started going to church. Next thing you know, she started getting visits with her kids. You know, like today she's one of the women I look up to today. You know what I'm saying, because like they did rehab, they can do it. Like I was like, man, I want that. You know what I'm saying, I really do. And like now that I see kids on the street, you know what I'm saying, like with their parents, it's like, man, that could have been me. You know what I'm saying, that will be me one day. You know. So just seeing other people that's been in addiction with their kids, that really opens my eyes, you know what I'm saying, because I definitely do want that.
What have you learned about yourself while in treatment?
Um, I've learned a lot about myself. I knew I was pig-headed, vindictive. I was a liar, a cheater, a thief, you know. I was the whole nine, man. Like, anytime I went to the store, I would steal something for the house, you know what I'm saying? And if I didn't have money, I would get one way or another, you know. I grew up in that mentality, you know. I started stealing at a very young age. I was like literally 12 years old, you know, stealing from stores, you know, and like now that I think about it, it's like that's crazy, you know what I'm saying? Because like if I had a business, you know, I wouldn't want nobody to steal from me, you know. So today I'm just trying to make amends with everything that I've ever done.
Yes, you operate in honesty and integrity.
Yes, I found out. Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. What is your amazing ambitions in life? What are your immediate goals look like?
To get my own house, to be successful. I've heard this, you know, saying if you want to be a millionaire, if you surround yourself with 5 millionaires, you're bound to be that sixth millionaire. If you surround yourself with six, excuse my language, dumbasses, you know, saying you're bound to be that sixth dumbass, you know. You want to know who you are? Look at your friends, you know. You want to be a winner? Hang with winners, you know. Um, it's all about changing your mindset for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, once I start thinking positive things, man, like, positive things start happening in my life.
Yeah. So what is you actually doing right now for work? Like, what are you doing now to give, like, are you working in detox or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm working at, I'm a rehab technician, for detox.
Awesome.
And, just helping people that's coming in off the streets, man. It opens my eyes because I remember I was just that person not too long ago, you know what I'm saying? I understand I have a year, but it's like, man, like helping another addict, man, that makes my day so much better, you know what I'm saying? Like I can talk to people about anger today, you know what I'm saying? I can talk to people about their sadness, you know what I'm saying? Because listening to someone else, that really helps me a lot.
It's awesome. It's awesome also to give back. And you see where you come from. You see the character deflaws that you had. You know what I'm saying? And you see that person that comes to the door, you're able to connect with that individual because you once was there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's awesome. Have you fulfilled or discovered your purpose in this life? I mean, have you discovered your purpose, or do you have any type of inkling of your purpose at this moment in time? Do you know actually why you're here on this earth?
I would say to help others.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely to help others, man. One of the things I've always wanted to do was help young teens and adults. And I definitely do want to go to like juveniles or like you know what I'm saying, also jails and whatnot, you know what I'm saying, just to talk to teens, you know what I'm saying, and let them know what I've been through and let them know how I am today. So that's one of my goals.
I see you're a speaker at a women's outreach program, for women.
Yeah.
You have a powerful voice right now, and you went through a lot. You went through so much. How's your relationship with the Heavenly Father?
Man, it's great. You know, coming up here, I surrendered my life to God.
Come on.
And like they say, saying, don't give half yourself to God. Give all yourself to God. You know, saying, and He will work miracles, man. Like He's pulled me out of some dark places, man. And For years, I thought he abandoned me, but no, it's myself. I abandoned God, you know. You know, He's my everything. I pray all throughout the day, you know, like everything I have in life is because of God. The woman I am today is because of God. And you know, I don't tell my story for people to feel sorry for me. I'm telling you guys because I've overcome so much stuff in life. That's what got me to this point today.
What is the importance of having a sponsor and going to meetings?
A sponsor is everything. You saying a sponsor is someone you can pretty much vent to. You saying they're not going to judge you. You know, a sponsor is someone that takes you through the steps. You're able to dig deep into your past with your sponsor. You know, your secrets will be safe with your sponsor. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to open up to your sponsor. Meetings, you know saying? Go to meetings that, if you go to a meeting, you're bound to hear something. You know saying? Whenever I go to meetings, I always hear a message. You know saying? And it's like, dang, are they talking to me? You know, that's crazy. You know? So, yeah, I definitely enjoy meetings. I do.
Is there any suggestions for the rehabs today dealing with people that like have traumatic backgrounds like yourself? Is there any suggestions that what they could improve on to help better the client's stay in the rehab?
I would say, of course, keep helping them. You know what I'm saying? Don't give up on them. But also don't force stuff on them. You know what I'm saying? And like the meetings, if they're mandated to go to a meeting, saying like they're not going to enjoy it. I don't feel like, you know what I'm saying. People should want to go to meetings. You know what I'm saying? People should want to come to rehab. You know, you can't force no one to get clean. You know what I'm saying? We can always encourage them to get clean. And I don't know. I feel like because the rehab I went to, man, like they did everything for me. You know, they really did. I wouldn't be sober. I would probably wouldn't even be alive today if it wasn't for this rehab I'm in today. So man, I give thanks to that rehab because they
What's the
did.
name of that rehab?
The rehab I go to is Higher Vision,
I really.
and man, let me tell you, they saved my freaking life.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they saved my life. They did everything for me.
That's awesome. Let me sum this thing up here. Okay, so you possess your future at this moment. Okay, and what I mean by that is let the past be the past, right? We live in the day, but at the same time, the future dwells within us, right?
Yes.
Doing drugs and alcohol is a slow suicide. The reason I say that is because the individual has not yet found something more important than doing substance, because they haven't discovered their purpose. Purpose gives life meaning. The question I want everybody to reflect on, all the viewers to reflect on, and ask yourself this: do you believe you have purpose here in this world? Once again, this is Breaking Boundaries. My name is Saul Mintz. I'm here with Matilda. Let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you.
It's awesome. So make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. This is another one. See you next time. God bless.